Most of the space where life exists on Earth isn't land, it's ocean. And most of that ocean is deep, cold, and pitch black. The deeper you go, the stranger everything gets. Faces disappear, eyes grow huge, or vanish completely. Skin turns to glass, or to something blacker than the water around it. We call it creepy. Pull almost anything up from 300 meters down, anywhere in the world, and people react the same way. A flinch, a step back, sometimes real fear. That reaction has a cause, and it turns out to be pointed at exactly the wrong thing. Nothing down there is broken. Every strange feature is the right answer to a hard problem most of us never have to solve. To understand why, we have to go deeper. At 200 meters down, something switches off. Above that line, there's enough sunlight for plants to grow, and that's the base of almost every food chain in the ocean. Below it, there isn't. No plants. No green life at all. Nothing growing on sunlight. So, what do the animals down here actually eat? They eat snow, not frozen water. A slow, constant drizzle of dead plankton and tiny scraps of waste falling from the bright water far above. Scientists call it marine snow. It looks like nothing. Down here, it's the only meal on the table, and this one thin layer of ocean, called the Twilight Zone, holds more fish than every other part of the sea combined. When food is that scarce, an animal's body has to be cheap to run. Near the surface, color is easy to afford, and it's useful for hiding, for warning, for attracting a mate. Down here, making color costs energy for almost no reward, because there's barely enough light left for color to even be seen. So, a lot of animals simply stop paying for it. Look at the glass squid. Its body is so clear you can see its organs floating inside it, like it's made of window glass. The glass octopus goes even further. Nearly its whole body disappears, leaving just two eyes drifting through open water, seemingly attached to nothing at all. Is this to hide from predators in a world with no shadows? Or is it simply cheaper to build a body with no color at all? Most scientists think it's probably both. Other animals took the opposite bet. Instead of trying to disappear, they make their own light. It's called bioluminescence, a chemical glow like a glow stick that costs almost no energy to produce. It's the single most common trick in the deep sea. About 3 out of every 4 deep sea animals can do it in some form. Here's the problem that light solves. Imagine you're a predator hunting from below, looking up. Anything swimming above you shows up as a dark shape against the faint glow coming from the surface. Easy target. So, animals like the firefly squid do something clever. They cover their bellies with light and tune the brightness to match the glow above them exactly. Their outline vanishes. They're not hiding from the light. They're hiding inside it. The bloody belly comb jelly plays an even stranger version of this game. It glows deep red, which sounds like a terrible way to hide, until you know one thing. Red light dies out almost instantly in seawater. Down here, a red glow looks completely black to nearly every eye around it. So, when this jelly eats something that glows, its own red body works like a curtain, hiding the light of its last meal inside its stomach. And every single night, this part of the ocean pulls off the biggest movement of living things on the entire planet. Each evening, as it gets dark up at the surface, billions of animals rise together from the Twilight Zone. Small fish, squid, shrimp, jellies, climbing up to feed under cover of night. By morning, they've all sunk back down again. It's called the vertical migration, and by sheer weight of animals moving at once, It's bigger than every land migration on Earth put together. Every herd, every flock, every swarm, moving twice a day, every single day. And here's the strange part. Nobody knew this was happening until World War II. Navy sonar crews kept picking up a strange solid layer on their screens. A fake seafloor that rose every evening and sank every morning, like the ocean itself was breathing. It wasn't rock. It was the largest coordinated movement of animals on Earth, hiding from us until the moment we finally had a way to listen for it. The Twilight Zone bends the normal rules of survival. Go past a kilometer down, and there are no rules left to bend. There's only night. Past 1 kilometer down, sunlight is gone for good. This is the midnight zone, stretching down to about 4 kilometers. There's no sunset here, and there will never be a sunrise. The water sits just above freezing. The pressure would crush an unprotected human body in an instant. By every reasonable guess, nothing should be able to live here at all. Meet the dragonfish. It found a loophole almost nothing else has thought to use. Red light barely travels through seawater, so most eyes down here simply can't see it. The dragonfish makes its own red glow, and its eyes are built specifically to see that color back. So, it hunts using a private spotlight that its prey cannot detect. It's night vision, invented by a fish millions of years before humans ever built the real thing. Other hunters chose the opposite trick, swallowing every scrap of light that touches them. Some deep-sea fish have skin built to trap light and never let it bounce back, soaking up more than 99.5% of anything that hits it. Point a submarine spotlight directly at one, and the beam almost seems to vanish into its body, leaving only a shape behind. It's stealth technology, built by evolution long before humans figured out how to make a plane disappear from radar the same way. And then there's the strangest survival story in this entire zone. You probably know the anglerfish for her glowing lure. What's less known is how she finds a mate, and it might be the strangest solution to a single problem found anywhere in nature. Male anglerfish are born tiny, a fraction of the female size, built for one job only. Find a female somewhere out in an ocean so big and so dark that most males never succeed. If a male does find one, he bites into her side and fuses to her body for good. His jaw dissolves, their blood vessels join together. Slowly, his eyes, his fins, even his own organs shrink away until he's little more than a small sac attached to her side, kept alive by her own bloodstream for the rest of her life. Some females carry several of these former males at once. It sounds horrifying, but biologically, it's simply the most efficient way evolution ever found to solve an almost impossible dating problem. For every species we've found down here, scientists think many more are still waiting to be discovered. Almost every trip into the midnight zone brings back something nobody has ever seen before. Past 4 kilometers, the open water ends and the seafloor begins. And here, survival takes its strangest turn yet. 4 kilometers down, we reach the Abyssal Plain, flat, empty, and by size, one of the biggest habitats on the whole planet. It covers more ground than every forest, grassland, and desert on Earth combined. And it might be the least explored place we know of. No reefs, no mountains, just a cold, endless desert of mud that can stretch for thousands of kilometers without a single break. To survive in a place with almost nothing to eat, a lot of animals here do something you wouldn't expect. They grow huge. Giant isopods, cousins of the tiny bugs you'd find under a rock in your garden, grow to the size of a house cat. Shrimp-like creatures that are barely visible near the surface stretch here to the length of your forearm. And somewhere in this darkness lives the colossal squid, the heaviest invertebrate on Earth, weighing close to 500 kilograms, as much as a small horse. For 100 years after scientists first identified this squid, from pieces found inside a whale's stomach, nobody had ever filmed one alive in its natural home. That changed on March 9th, 2025, exactly 100 years after the species was named. A robotic submersible called Sebastian, sent down by the Schmidt Ocean Institute, filmed one near the South Sandwich Islands. It wasn't the sea monster from old stories. It was a young one, barely 30 centimeters long, its body almost see-through, its insides faintly visible through skin like glass. Kat Bolstad, the scientist who helped confirm it, called it a chance to finally show people this beautiful little delicate animal, instead of the monster we'd always imagined. Why do so many deep-sea animals grow this big? Nobody's entirely sure. Some scientists think a bigger body saves energy over a long, hungry lifetime. Others think size protects them, since there are so few predators down here to worry about. For now, the honest answer is, we don't fully know yet. And down here, that's simply where the science currently stands. But the biggest discovery on the ocean floor didn't come from a strange animal at all. It came from the mud itself. For over 100 years, one idea in science stood unchallenged. All of Earth's oxygen comes, one way or another, from sunlight. In July 2024, that idea was put to the test. A team led by Professor Andrew Sweetman from the Scottish Association for Marine Science sealed off small patches of seafloor in the middle of the Pacific to measure how fast the animals there were using up oxygen. Instead of dropping, like it always had in every earlier study, the oxygen level inside those sealed chambers more than tripled in total darkness, over 4 kilometers down, with no sunlight for miles in any direction. After years spent ruling out mistakes and faulty equipment, Sweetman's team, working with a chemist named Franz Geiger, came up with a surprising explanation. The dark potato-sized rocks scattered across that seafloor, called polymetallic nodules, seemed to carry a tiny electric charge, almost like a battery, just enough potentially to split apart water molecules and release oxygen without any sunlight at all. Scientists nicknamed the discovery dark oxygen. It's still being debated. Other researchers have pushed back and questioned the methods used. But even as an open question, it's forced science to rethink something we thought was settled. And it raises an uncomfortable question for companies now planning to mine those very same rocks for metal. What happens to that oxygen if we dig up the rocks producing it? Not every animal down here survives through size or strange chemistry. The vampire squid, despite its name, isn't a hunter at all. It gathers falling scraps of marine snow using long, sticky arms, living a quiet life as the ocean's slowest, gentlest scavenger in water so low in oxygen that almost nothing else could manage it. It survives using blood built to hold on to oxygen better than almost any other sea creature alive. And then there's the Greenland shark, possibly the longest living animal with a backbone on the whole planet. Recent studies suggest it can live past 300 years, maybe even past 400. A shark alive today might have already been swimming through this cold water before your country existed. Past the Abyssal Plain, the seafloor itself splits open. And down there, the rules of life don't just bend, they get rewritten completely. Past 4 kilometers, the seafloor opens into trenches, deep cracks torn into the Earth's crust, where one piece of the planet's surface slowly slides beneath another. This is the Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the ancient god of the underworld. It stretches from 6 kilometers down to almost 11, the deepest point anywhere on Earth. To picture that depth, if you dropped Mount Everest into that trench, its snow-covered peak would still sit more than a mile underwater. The pressure down there is over 1,000 times what you feel at sea level, enough to kill an unprotected person almost instantly. And yet, the deepest fish ever found lives right here. The snailfish is small, soft, and almost transparent, with barely any bones at all. By every normal expectation, this kind of pressure should destroy soft tissue instantly. Instead, its cells are built with special molecules that keep everything working properly, even when the pressure would normally crush it. It's a body rebuilt, piece by piece, to survive somewhere it really shouldn't be able to. Nearby, swarms of small, shrimp-like creatures cover the trench floor by the thousands. But recent research found something troubling inside their bodies: tiny plastic fibers, at the very bottom of the deepest place on Earth. Proof that even here, nothing is truly out of reach of human waste. Along some trench walls, there's a completely different kind of world. Hydrothermal vents pump out hot, mineral-rich water straight from inside the Earth. Down here, tiny microbes don't need sunlight or falling scraps to survive at all. They feed directly on chemicals coming out of the vent, a process called chemosynthesis, which really just means making energy from chemistry instead of light. Whole communities of worms, crabs, and clams build their lives on top of these microbes. Proof that life doesn't actually need a sun. It just needs energy wherever it can find it. That single fact matters far beyond our own planet. Icy moons like Europa and Enceladus, out past Mars, are believed to hide oceans beneath their frozen surfaces, kept warm not by sunlight, but by heat from deep inside them. That's almost exactly the setup we find around a hydrothermal vent. So every hour spent studying these vents here on Earth is, in a way, a rehearsal for finding life somewhere else in the solar system. Even with everything we've learned, we've barely scratched the surface, or rather, the bottom. Fewer people have been down into the Mariana Trench than have walked on the moon. Every single trip down still brings back something never seen before. For centuries, people pictured the deepest ocean as an empty, lifeless place. What we've actually found is the exact opposite. And that leads to the one question this whole film has been building toward. Here's a number worth thinking about. In one recent year alone, a global research effort called Ocean Census, the same team that helped confirm the colossal squid sighting, helped name hundreds of brand new sea creatures. A ghost shark relative nobody knew existed, a worm covered in shimmering scales. And scientists believe we've still only found a small fraction of everything actually living down there. Nearly every trip brings back something new. So, why does so much of it look the way it does to us? Why the giant eyes? Why the missing faces? Why skin that seems to swallow light whole? Here's the honest answer. Creepy was never really a scientific idea. It's a human one. Our brains are wired to spot faces fast because, for most of human history, recognizing a face quickly could save your life. So, when we see something that's almost a face but not quite, an eye too big, a jaw too wide, something close but not right, some old automatic part of our brain reacts before we've even had time to think. Scientists call this feeling the uncanny valley. It fires whether you're looking at a lifelike robot or an anglerfish. But every one of those wrong features turns out to be exactly right. Giant eyes aren't monstrous. They're built to gather every last drop of light in a place that has almost none. A body without a normal face isn't broken. It's simply built for a world where facial expressions were never useful because there was rarely enough light for anyone to see them. See-through skin isn't horror movie material. It might be the most brilliant camouflage evolution has ever come up with. In a place with nowhere else to hide. The deep sea was never trying to scare us. It didn't even know we existed until about 100 years ago. Every strange shape down there is simply the best possible answer to a hard problem. Worked out slowly, patiently, over hundreds of millions of years, in a place with no light to show its work. We've spent decades pointing our best telescopes outward, scanning distant planets and stars for any sign that we're not alone. And yet, the biggest, strangest, least explored place we know of is sitting right beneath every ship that has ever sailed. More than 80% of the ocean has never been explored. Every dive down, every robotic mission, still brings back something no scientist has ever named. A see-through fish, a glowing worm, a jelly that seems to break every rule we thought we knew about biology. The biggest mystery of all might still be the glowing itself. About 3 out of every 4 deep-sea animals can produce their own light. And yet, the reasons vary wildly. Hunting, hiding, finding a mate, just staying alive. We still don't fully understand how so many unrelated animals all discovered this same trick on their own, or why a few of them can see colors that nothing else on Earth can. For now, these are open questions, not closed ones, and maybe that's exactly what makes them worth protecting. Somewhere down there, right now, in total darkness, something is glowing. Something is hiding. Something is quietly, patiently, still becoming something new, waiting for us to finally finish looking.